We back. Hello, hello. I feel like it's been a long time. Welcome back to Mr.BetonYou, the Gig Driver Live Show. Every Sunday, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been live down here in the BetonYou basement to do this live show that many of you look forward to. I look forward to. I got an interesting topic today that I'm going to be balanced and nuanced. I will give my opinion. I will try to challenge us to think about things a little bit differently on this topic. We'll get into that in just a little while. I have a video we're going to play. I'm going to give you guys the, full layout of what this topic is about. The video that it came from, viral video. This isn't brand new info. It didn't happen today or anything. Other people have covered it and even in other genres. I think a few in this particular niche. So I have a video. I'll show it here in just a second. It's that video there. Okay. It's from a channel called The Black Conservative. But many other people have covered it. You guys could find this news information on all over the place. Now, before I get into that, how are you guys doing? How was your week? Talk amongst yourselves in the chat, if you don't mind. Hit that thumbs up button. I'll get into who's here in just a moment. Obviously, my week's been it wasn't great in some ways, and it was great in others, but that is life. You've been following and watching the videos and all that. It's just been it's been a weird week. It's been weird. But I wouldn't change anything that's happened. Everything happens for a reason. So I only did a little bit of gig work this week. I worked a little on Monday. I worked 3 hours on Tuesday. Didn't work Wednesday. Didn't work Thursday. I worked 8 hours or so, maybe a little bit more on Friday. And I did I did 2 orders yesterday. Didn't work today. So low income week, but that's okay. I do not preach on this channel putting all your eggs in one basket. All of your income, in my opinion, should not come from just one thing. Nowadays, it's hard to survive if all your money is coming from doing one thing. Even if it's W-2, unless you're making a lot of money, it's difficult for the average American to get by. So always try to find new hustles, new gigs, whatever that means for you. For some of us, it might mean going back to a W-2, and that's okay. All right, so let me get into this topic. We've talked about it. We've touched on it really many times on lives and videos. I've had people come on. We've had debates. The immigration issue, and we do have an issue in this country. Whether you think it's a big issue, a small issue, it's an issue because people are talking about it, and Americans and non-Americans are impacted by it. The government's impacted by it with the money that's being spent. Businesses, small business owners are being impacted by it. Big, the oligarchs, the DoorDashers, the Ubers are taking advantage of the situation of immigration that we have in this country right now. Now, we're not going to get into that necessarily, but we're going to scratch the surface because this is a question I had. I think there's a poll up, and please, I'll say hi to everybody. I see some names already. I see you. I'm happy to be back. Should there be a requirement of a food delivery driver or a gig worker? It could be Spark, Instacart, whatever. Gig worker, rideshare in this country, in America. Should there be a requirement to speak English fluently to do the job? Answer that poll. I'm going to look at the poll results here in a minute. We've got 106 votes. I'll give you guys a little bit more time to yes or no. Simple question. Simple question. It can be anonymous. You know. All right, who we got here? David, Grandpa, Gigwise, Brenda, Michael, Wayne, Grandpa's Random Reviews. That's Dash and Grandpa. How you doing? Juan, Kevin, John says yes. Sarah, John says yes. April, how you doing? Big Carl. The Glorias are mostly gone. I mostly agree with that. And I haven't done DoorDash in months, so, Gloria says, Monster Live, haha. Eric Berry says no. Okay. Excuse me. Answer that question before I show you guys this video. And then I am going to have the Streamyard link available for anybody that wants to come up and tell me what you think about it. We'll watch the video. I'll give my opinion on the situation. I've done a little bit of research on what the information that's on the internet about these gentlemen and what happened. We'll get into that in a minute. But should there be a requirement to speak English to do gig work? Tonight, we'll talk about the perspective of the business owner that's in this video. We'll talk about the perspective of the gig driver that did not speak English. We'll talk about the perspective from a government aspect, a state aspect. The health department has gotten involved, but for not the reasons you would think. And I have some restaurant knowledge because I've worked in restaurants for 18 years. Interesting, the health department got involved in this incident, but I'll tell you why I think that happened and why other people that are privy to firsthand knowledge, why they did. Before we do that, hit that thumbs up, share the content. Appreciate you guys for being here. Yo, what up? I think they should be able to understand it, not put their phone to people's faces. I agree. And I made a short earlier. The comments kind of go all over the place. But I think it speaks to, before I show the video, because I want as many people to get in here as possible to watch it. So you guys could vote again, give your perspective, and then join the panel if you choose to. Okay? I think it's interesting because there's a few ways to look at this. Right? And the temperature of gig workers right now, we're reaching a boiling point, man. I feel like as every month goes by, every quarter, every year, workers are more stressed out, more frustrated. We're in an election year. You know, emotions are high. There's good information out there. There's bad information out there. There are a lot of people that are baiting, I think, us as drivers to get our attention. You know, and I'll say this. I think there's a particular sector of individuals that do gig work that are definitely being vilified. And in some cases, and in some instances, rightfully so. I judge people based on their actions, not where they're from. Let me repeat that one more time. I judge people based on their actions, not where they're from. And I think many of you guys do as well, but not all do. We base it, sometimes we base somebody based on where they're from, based on what they can say or not say. So I think I think the reason though that we do that is because we're so mad. People aren't making money, people are getting deactivated, it's harder, inflation, all these things that we've been dealing with, that we've been talking about, that you guys talk about. It's reaching a point of we need somebody to blame. You know, and the news organizations know it because they're going to do things to get the clicks and views and the viral sensations, right? Restaurant owners and business owners and fast food workers are mad. Drivers are mad. Companies are winning. And they got us fighting each other in restaurants when we're just trying to make money or we're just trying to deliver a product to a consumer. Let's watch this video. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a second. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I got it kind of queued up. This is from the channel, the Black Conservative, I believe is the name of the channel. I watch some of the stuff on there sometimes when it's news things. I like to get people's different perspectives. And let me pull this up for you guys. Okay, so it starts here, but the video pops in like 5 minutes later. This is a news lady talking about. This is Washington, D.C. business owner berates Uber driver for speaking Spanish. Now, I want you to just watch the video, and we'll get into it here. This is fair use, by the way. This is somebody else's content. We're going to be reacting to it and watching it a little bit. My face is on here. Fair use, YouTube. Don't ban me. Black Conservative, I'm a big fan. Don't give me a strike. All right? All right, so let me pull this up. What up, Garden State, Gigwise, Thomas, Baldwin, Trolling, Inc., what's up? If you not speak English, that means you are not legal citizen and needs to move back to Mexico. So somebody get rid of trolling for me. That would be great. If somebody could just block that person. Let's watch this video. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me go here. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Take a look.
Learn English. Learn it. You get money in America. This isn't you getting money in America. Learn English.
This is the moment the owner of Canna Coffee on Florida Avenue in Northwest D.C. yells at an Uber food delivery driver, Gregorio Amundaray, because he doesn't speak English. The video is going viral on TikTok with more than 1 million views.
Porque fue lo primero que se me vino a la mente. Pensé que...
Gregorio is telling Fox 5 his natural instinct was to start recording to protect himself because the situation was quickly escalating and it was very uncomfortable.
Me hace sentir humillado, frustrado.
He says,
all right, so I'll pause it real quick. You guys can hear that, right? Let me make sure. All right, so some videos you're going to watch out there. So the guy goes in, he's berating. Well, let me keep playing it, but I wanted to react. I think somebody said that. So let me play it again.
There was no need for him to be treated so disrespectfully. He moved to this country from Venezuela to get ahead in life and help his family. The intense interactions continues for an entire minute and ends with the owner shoving a bag of food at Gregorio's chest.
Learn English.
DC police are investigating this bizarre.
So he's telling the guy, and this video doesn't even do it as much justice. He's telling the guy to learn English, and the guy's, recording for his own safety because, he felt like this is a business owner of this establishment. He's telling him to learn English, learn English, learn English. He's telling him that this isn't your country. Let me continue.
Situation as a simple assault and hate crime. Fox 5 went to Canna Coffee to get their side of the story and were met with hostility. Hello, is the owner of the business?
So that's the business right there. Okay. Let me just stop the video here. I might show you guys a better one that has like the whole interaction, but you guys see kind of the main thing of what we're doing here, right? You guys see kind of painting you a picture of what happened. He goes in to pick an order. He doesn't speak English. He's from Venezuela. And the guy's like, speak English, speak English. Blah, blah. He's cussing at him, calling him an MFer. He takes the guy's phone, and he's like, like telling him to like, you gotta, this is the business owner here that owns that cafe joint in Washington, D.C. And he's telling him, speak English. This isn't your country. Speak English, mother. Don't you know how to speak English? And he's being rude. He's not wrong necessarily. Okay, let's just keep it a buck here. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. I'm gonna challenge us to look at this like adults here. Okay, so the guy doesn't speak English. He's trying to make money. In interviews that he's done on other channels that I've seen in his news, he's basically saying he's trying to make money for his family. That's it. Seems like a pretty chill dude. He says he's not a criminal. He's not doing anything, bad, whatever, right? He's trying to make money. The business owner got cited by the health department for 2 violations. Now, the health department can't shut you down for this necessarily. So he obviously is running a business where he's having some issues. And the health department's been on his butt for whatever reason. He's gotten some violations. Maybe he didn't pass the health inspection. Consumers can call the health department and file a complaint like, hey, the silverware was dirty or my chicken wasn't cooked. And the health department would go in and they have to do a little report to see if you're going to still have that A on your window or a B or whatever. And they can close you. The health department has government power to close you on a very local level. Okay. So they've been closed down. Not for this, but that video went so viral that I think the health department had to somebody had to step in and say, hey, this guy, they mentioned hate crime. I don't believe that. I think that's stretching it a little much. We got this cancel culture where everybody's like has an opinion about this or they have a bad day and we want to cancel businesses and people. I do not believe in that. However, that video, do you think that's a proper response from a business owner? Somebody doesn't speak English. The guy doesn't seem like he wasn't being aggressive. We don't know everything that happened before he recorded. We don't know if he was shoving a phone in the face. That could have set the guy off. We don't know that. But do you think that's the way a business owner should respond? I'll give you my opinion right now. Absolutely not. You are a bad business owner if you're responding in that way, cussing out a delivery driver. DoorDash and Uber Eats has banned that business from being on the platform since that video went viral. I don't know how I feel about that, but he got what he got, right? He'll still hopefully be able to make money. I don't know. I don't want this guy to lose his business. But should that be his reaction? I don't think so. He's frustrated. His business is being reported by the health department even before this incident. Now he has this guy coming in, doesn't speak English. I get it. But to tell him this isn't your country, I have a problem with that. And I might lose some of you guys. I might lose some of y'all's support. But I've talked about this many times. Do I think we have an issue here with illegals and the fake accounts and gangs? Yes. Do I think that's the norm of the people that are on these apps that are from other countries? No, I do not. I don't. Open up, read a book. Read a book. Reading Rainbow. If you want to read a book and know the history of this country before you have comments like, you don't belong here. This isn't your country. Speak English. I think that's a very ignorant response to a greater issue. The small business owner is frustrated. I get it. He fucked up. He messed up. He let his emotions get the best of him. He just did, clearly, right? Now, gig drivers that are coming from another country, whether you've been here 1 day, a year, if you're going to do business with businesses, and the main language with the businesses you're going to try to make money with is English, and the main language in most cities is English is going to be even with consumers, you have to know the basic language skills as a driver, as a rideshare, as Instacart, as Uber, as DoorDash, for a few reasons. For your safety as a Spanish-speaking immigrant, for the consumer safety, for the merchant safety, for just the overall business acumen. You should know a few key words. You should know that you can use Google Translate on your device to help facilitate that. He probably didn't do that. So the business owner or a merchant or a fast food worker or a customer, if a customer is asking you questions, because they might assume you know English, and you can't answer some basic questions about food, right? It doesn't take long. If you're going to go out there and make your money, this is for all my Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters. Do a little bit of research, do a little bit of homework, learn 20 keywords so that you can make your money and be on your way, and you don't have to make these videos, you don't have to be harassed. That man was harassed. I don't care if he's from Mars, he's a human being. You don't treat a human being like that. Now, I'm giving a driver the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't a jerk. Now, if you walk into an establishment, I don't care if you're white, black, brown, American, if you're Big Carl, if you're me, if you're gig-wise, if you walk in and you're a jerk, regardless of where you're from, a business owner can kick you out. He can match that energy. And that makes sense to me. I don't think that's what happened here. I just don't. I don't think that that's what happened. I believe both of these parties have responsibility. The driver has got to know some basic English skills. I think if you go to any country, okay, if I choose to go to the Philippines for a month, especially if I choose to go there to work, you best believe I'm going to know some of the language. If people are coming here, they got to know some of the language if they're going to make money. It's not a requirement, and it should never be a law that you have to, well, English is an American-speaking country. Actually, it wasn't in the beginning, but I'm not going to give you guys a history lesson. You're smart enough if you're here. But while it's not a requirement, if you're going to be a good driver, you should know some words. But that business owner went way out of line. He harassed that man. He berated that man. He disrespected that man because he doesn't speak English. And the business owner doesn't like it. But it speaks to the temperament of Americans right now. We're fed up. Gig drivers, we're fed up. Walmart Spark drivers, Uber Eats, DoorDash, we're mad that Spanish-speaking people have come to this country and they're taking some opportunities from you. People from Haiti, people from parts of West Africa, people from India are here and they're taking your opportunity. And you already don't have enough opportunity, so you're mad as an American. And I get it. I get it. But we have to do better. We can't be that business owner. That dude's a clown. I called him a clown on my short. I'll call him a clown to his face. He's a clown. You don't react in that way. You're a business owner. You have to be better than that. Jackson, thanks for the $1.99. In my experience, African Americans are rude. I appreciate the $1.99, but that's a really stupid comment. So thanks for spending $1.99 to look like a clown. So the temperament and people are reaching a boiling point. And running a restaurant, and I never ran a restaurant that had to deal with third party. I got out of it right before, I can imagine my days working at Applebee's if I had a lot of people, and a lot of you guys say they put the phone in the face and they're rude or there's, yeah, Americans are too. White guys, black men, Asians, Puerto Ricans, Somalians, people from Afghanistan, people from Australia, people from California, people are just rude. So I think we have to understand people come to this country for opportunity. Land of the free, home of the brave. This is the country of opportunity like no other country in the world. So my stance has always been we have a higher responsibility because we can't say we're the best country in the world and act like that and act like this and act like how you're acting or act like how I'm acting. Assuming things, assuming this guy's this, assuming this he's a thug and they're eating cats like Donald Trump says, they're eating the dogs and the cats. We have got to stop with the rhetoric, the sizzle words, the words that get people amped up. We have this man, I've seen several interviews of the Venezuelan guy that went to go pick up that order. He seems like a pretty chill dude trying to make money, just like you and I. I don't know if he's here illegally or not. I don't know that. But the one advice I'd give to him is learn 20 words. Learn the word yes, no. Learn the sentence, I'm here to pick up the name. Names are universal. You might not be able to pronounce it right, but use Google Translate. Learn certain words. The word late, the word I'm on my way for the customers. Learn the word thank you in English, so you can say thank you when you leave their establishments. All of my Hispanic brothers and sisters, all of my people from India that don't speak English, might be their second language. Learn 20 keywords so this doesn't happen to you and you can make your money better. And you're going to look more professional. If you're going to make money and have business in a country, you have to adapt some of that language. You don't need to learn. You don't need to be fluent. Okay? But you need to adapt some things. That's my stance on that. I think both of these men could have prevented this by doing certain things that they didn't do. I mean, that's my take on it. I would love to hear from you guys. I'm going to put the Streamyard link up. I'll say hi to you guys in the chat again. Hit that thumbs up. I'll read some of the comments. But I feel like we're so mad at, and let's just keep it real here. We're mad at the Venezuelan population. Jacksonville, I can never work with him. All right. If anybody's coming in here, I want you to block these people that are saying saying all these stupid shit. Block them. Anything against a group of individuals that's hate, kick them off the channel for 24 hours. I don't care if they super chat. So, we're blaming a group of individuals, and I don't know. I see them at Walmart. I don't have any issues with them. I think it's bad. It's bad for the business owners that are having issues with the ones that are causing trouble. If I'm somebody from that part of the world and I came here and I'm legal and I'm just trying to do my thing, I'm mad at my fellow natives because they're making me look bad. I don't think most people that are here trying to make money in the gig economy are bad people with bad intention. I do not believe that. You can call me naive. I don't give a fuck. I don't believe it. I believe a few rotten apples in a bunch, they spoil the bunch. You can see a few apples in a barrel of 100. And the first couple that catch your eye, or the first one that you might bite, doesn't taste good, doesn't look right. It takes you off. Oh, that barrel's bad. And you go to the next barrel. It's oranges, it's this, it's whatever. It doesn't mean that the whole thing was bad. It just means that your experience and your perspective was bad. We got to stop assuming as much. And I'm giving the clown donkey of the award day to that business owner. Karma is a bitch. Trust me, I know. And he overreacted, disrespected another human being when I didn't feel like it was needed. But that guy's got to learn a few key words so he's not putting himself in that position and he can continue to earn and make money. It should be subscriber only mode. All right. It definitely should be, but people can subscribe. And it's definitely subscriber mode. So who else do we have in here? Wow, what is going on? People are just, the YouTube troll was funny. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can cipher through. It's definitely on subscriber mode, but they can subscribe and then chat, so you guys are gonna have to block them. Trovan says, let me read some comments here. It's crazy how many migrant, non-English speaking dashers I see walk into a restaurant without saying a word. They put the phone up to the cashier face to get the order, leaving without a thank you. Yeah, that has to be fixed because they're making it look bad for everybody else, but it does happen. I see it too. I see it a few times a week. Jen says, I have issues. I have to communicate with the customer about substitutions or let them know that the restaurant is out of something or ask what they want to drink. Okay. If you don't support illegals, don't hire them for cheap labor, period. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think we have to understand that the company should be the ones we're pointing the finger at. How am I? Let's have an honest conversation. Let's put the bullshit to the side, the trolls, the opinions. Let me just talk to you face to face. Look at my eyes. How can we hate somebody we don't know just trying to make money for their family? Your grandfather did the same thing. Your great-grandfather did the same thing. Your great-great-great-grandfather didn't speak English when he came here. And he learned it. So I think these individuals coming here for opportunity, which is promised to them based on our Statue of Liberty, our flag, our country's motto, they gotta do better to protect themselves by being thoughtful, learning some key words of language, going the right route if they want to stay here, to make sure they're legally here and they're done the right way, so they don't put their family in danger. They don't get deported. They don't do this. They don't do that. They got to be good members of their community, talk to their neighbors. They got to do those kind of things, right? Because that's what your great-grandfather did. Your great-great-grandfather did. So my family did when they came here. My grandmother lives in Chicago. She speaks very little English. I imagine her door dashing with a little bag and meeting this fucking piece of shit worker from Washington, D.C. And if he treated my grandma like that, you best believe I'm knocking on his door. We're going to have some words. We got to start looking at each other as human beings. When I roll up in that Walmart parking lot and I see some strange things, it's strange. But I ain't vilifying these men and women. I'm not videotaping them, running up on them, interviewing them, assuming things. We're in a weird time right now. I think a lot of us are forgetting why we came to do this work. These people are doing the same thing. They got to do it the right way, though. And I think a lot of us are thinking that the majority of these people are bad people. And I don't think that. When I look at that video, the bad person in that video to me is the business owner. And some of you guys will disagree, and that's okay. That's what tonight's show is about. I can challenge you, you can challenge me. It's okay. But should it be required? What's DoorDash's and Uber Eats' responsibility with the English stuff? Because they have things in the app. They know a percentage of their workforce, English is a second language. Probably a big percentage. So what do they do? I don't know. All right, let me read this one last comment, and then I will put the Streamyard link up. Garden State. The people aren't ready for that conversation. Quiz Heaven? Is it Heaven? Yeah. My parents immigrated to America from East Africa before I was born, and they definitely understood English. Yeah. No, I think when you go to any country, you have to, that's what I would do, just to make my life easier and to be able to communicate with the people around me, the other humans around me, especially if you're doing business. I think that's where the guy failed. He should have known a few keywords, which wouldn't be difficult, or use a Google Translate or something. Or maybe he tried to use Google Translate and the owner was like, Mama, fuck this shit. Oh my God, I'm not dealing with you immigrants. Speak English. This isn't your country. And he lost it. Hey, I can appreciate that on some levels. I get triggered too. He might have been having a bad day. His restaurant, the health department's got 2 violations on him that just happened recently. And then this happens and the video goes crazy. Hey, he got caught up in the moment. That could have been the 10th guy that came in his store and said, but as a business owner, you got to handle it better. It's bad business. It looks like his business is suffering in part because of that. Right? So the guy's off his chain. He's off his rocker. Right? So let me go ahead and you know what? That's a good question. Don't most other countries teach English? Pretty sure they do. Some do. There's a lot of this world that does not speak English, though, right? The people that lived here before the English didn't speak English. Well, they spoke their native tongue, but okay, all right. Singapore's language is English. Singapore. All right. So what the hell happened to Buffalo? What up, Russia Rodeo? What up? All right. Let me go ahead. I want to share this link with you guys. Okay. I'm going to do that in just a moment. And if somebody wants to come up, what do you guys think about this? These are the questions I want to know. What do you think about the video? What do you think about the interaction? And should there be a requirement to speak English to deliver food, do rideshare, work in the gig economy? Should it be a requirement? And what responsibility does a worker have to do their business more appropriately? I can only imagine trying to do any gig app work in Thailand. I speak none of the language. So imagine trying to pick up things. I could figure it out, but I might have to, in the first couple of days, show my phone to somebody, ask for help. Like, that would be frustrating. And let's say the country that I'm coming from is crooked, has a lot of crime, it's unsafe, and I'm trying to take care of my family. So Thailand's a place to go. Hey, you're going to have opportunity. You're going to get this, you're going to get that. That's all these people, most of these people, that's all they're doing. And they got to work, and the barrier of entry is low. How can I hate on that brother? I can't hate that guy. I can't hate him. He's got a family. He said he's trying to work. He's doing the same job I am. He puts his pants on the same way I am. He did nothing that I saw to be disrespected in that way. That's my challenge for us tonight. Just to look at it from a different perspective. I think they both have responsibility in that situation. And I've already clearly decided what I think he could have done, what the owner could have done. Let me go ahead and put this in for you guys real quick. But that business owner, he's a clown. I'm going to stand on that hill. That's him. He took the bag and threw it against the guy's chest. Speak English, mother, and he's cursing at him. And the guy is sitting there chill. I think that the video tells you a lot about these gentlemen and their level of integrity on some levels, their level of respect. So that business owner's a clown, and he gets what he gets. Point blank, period. That's my stance. And the Venezuelan gig worker, you need to learn a little bit of English to do your work. If you're going to do business in America, you got to learn 20 words, bro. That's your responsibility. That's where I stand. That's about as balanced as I can get. And I think the temperatures are hot. People are mad. People are upset. And when you mix money and business and all this stuff, it comes to a point where people get frustrated. Because I'll tell you this right now. That dude's not doing that to I hope he wouldn't do it to like a woman or something like, I think he just had enough, and he's like, I'm going to make an example out of this dude. You know what I mean? All right. Let me go ahead and put this in for you guys here. And just before I do that, I'm going to play that clip again. Actually, I'm going to try to find you another one that's a little bit better. Let me go ahead and I'm going to pin the link for you guys. You guys can come up. If anybody wants to come up. I don't know. Maybe nobody likes me anymore. Maybe nobody wants to come up. That's okay, too. I can talk amongst ourselves. I can talk about myself. All right. So the lack of professionalism is minimal. But if you're a restaurant owner, Carl, they got to be more professional. If that's your brick and mortar, you're the owner of that establishment, you can't act like that. That's why I called him a clown. I think it's appropriate. You can't. Now, to be fair, we don't know what happened before. That guy could have went in there acting like a fool, right? But, okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and let me put this link in here for you guys. And if anybody disagrees or agree, all opinions are welcome. You're welcome to click the link and tell me what you think about the video. I'll play it for you guys one more time. Hold on one second. I got to do invite, copy, and then go here. I think it's that one. Okay, there we go. And then I'll pin this for you guys. Okay, just give me a moment. Ooh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Every time I try to pin, oh my God. Every time I try to pin from here, there we go. Pin message. Okay, it's up at the top, guys. Join the show. What do you think? I'm going to show this video one more time. Maybe I'll show a little bit more of it this time. Let me see. 1 second. So let's go there. Let me go back a little bit. And I'll even play some of it where they're talking about, hold on. Maybe, let me find a spot where, okay, here we go. This is where we're going to pick it up from, right about here.
Action once in May and again in August, both before Harris found himself in the spotlight earlier this week.
Learn English.
When he was caught on video getting in the face of an Uber Eats driver delivering this racist rant.
This ain't your country. Learn English. Learn English.
All right. Let me stop it right there. So you see him aggressively in the guy's face saying, this isn't your country. That's why he's a clown. I'm going to tell you this right now. When people use that kind of language and they're cussing, fuck this dude. He's a piece of shit. Let's continue to watch.
This ain't your country.
This video now has more than 18 million views on TikTok.
Hey, Learn English.
There you go. Shoves it in his chest. That's a business owner. This black guy with the hat and the red shirt, that's a business owner that's on the DoorDash and Uber Eats platform, treating a driver like that because he can't speak English. The driver, listen, you got to learn a few words, bro. But this owner's a fucking clown. Continue.
MPD is now investigating this as a possible hate crime, though no arrests have been made.
I don't think it's a hate crime. He didn't hurt the guy, so let's stop with that.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Right, let me pause it here. All right, I don't want to clout chase this guy too much, but I see you guys waiting. I'm gonna bring you guys up in a minute. 18 million, yo, tell them, bro. That's crazy, man. Should I pretend like I don't know English so I can go viral? Oh, people like the negative. I think that owner's completely out of line. The driver is not helping himself, though. They both have responsibility here. That's my case. I think a lot of people are looking at the driver and like a lot of the comments I've seen on videos are like, yeah, you know, the owner's saying what we all feel. Hey, I hear you. I get it. But as a business owner, you can't act like that. You're stooping yourself down to what you think this man is. You think he's a MFer and go back to your country, speak the language. You're a business owner. This is a guy helping you facilitate business for your business. Let me repeat that one more time before I bring the panelists up. You're a business owner that's frustrated. Your health department, 2 violations in the last month. You got some issues. A guy comes in, doesn't speak English. Obviously, you figured out what he needs because you just handed him the bag. So the communication was good enough. But you can't act like that. You're lowering yourself down to the level that you're telling that this guy what he is, right? Like the only motherfucker I saw in this video was a business owner. I saw maybe a not very bright gig driver, should have known better. Google Translate, learn 20 words real quick. You know, in the morning when you wake up, all right, let me look at these words. What are the apps saying? Okay, let me translate this in my Google Translate. This word means this means that. Okay, all right. Let me practice these words real quick while I'm driving in between my orders. Very simple concept. Because let me tell you something. To come to another country and start over and try to live, I think a lot of us think it's easy. I'm sure it's not. If I had to go to Thailand tomorrow, even if Thailand was giving me money and benefits, that's not an easy life. Okay, let's be human beings for a second, right? But that driver has got to do better. He's got to do better. But that owner is the donkey of the day, clown of the day. I'm gonna open the lines up. They're already open. You guys are waiting. I'm gonna sit back. I want you guys to tell me what you think. All opinions are welcome. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe that owner is a hero. Maybe you guys are loving him. You're like, that's what I want to say. They'll fuck these people. Fuck these people from Venezuela. They're taking my money. Fuck these motherfuckers. They got all this money. The government's helping them out. Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck these motherfuckers. If you feel like that, you can say it. It's your opinion. It's your thought. That's not how I feel, though. I take hard stance on this channel. I don't pander. I'm not going to just what everybody else is thinking. I'm just going to go along with it. I think that restaurant owner's a clown, a buffoon, an idiot. I think he gets what he deserves. And I think that driver, hopefully now, is learning English. He needs to learn English for his safety, for his money, for his family, to be in this great country, because we have a lot of fucking flaws here, but it is the best country in the world. Can I get an amen on that? Can I get an American flag in the chat? It is the best country in the world. But in me saying that, we have more of a responsibility to act that way when we're doing our thing as a business owner, as a citizen, as whatever. So I look at it. All right. I'm thinking, should I go one-on-one? Should I bring everybody up? I think I want to go one-on-one to start and give everybody a few minutes to tell me what they think about it. Faith and repentance. Appreciate that. First American flag in the chat. But look, it was funny because on some devices, it just shows up as that. And then on other devices, you can see the flags, you know. Eric, exactly. He fucked his business up. He messed his business up. Before I bring the panelists up, let me tell you something. I'm a little hot-tempered sometimes, right? But when it comes to making money, when it comes to like, if I'm running a business, restaurant, never an owner. I would never treat a patron like that. Not even the ones that would say crazy things to my staff. You be polite. You ask them to leave. You get security involved if you need to, but you don't act like that. He had some issues. Clearly, you got multiple health code violations. You're not running a good business. That's just, trust me, it's not easy to have multiple health code incidents to where they're like checking up on you and reporting on you, and then they gotta shut you down. Like that, you had to have many things go wrong for that to happen. You just do. You just do. All right, let me see who we have here. I see Kevin. I see Gig Bell Tolls. What's up, gentlemen? I see Santi. I don't know who you are. You got to show your face the first time. John Henry, good to see you back, my friend. I see Jamal here as well. Okay. All right, let me bring Kevin up first. I'll bring Kevin up first. Kevin, you got a couple minutes. You tell me what you think. No hold bars. Give me your opinion. All opinions are welcome here. You do not have to agree with me. I could be one of one on this issue. I don't know. Maybe you guys are like looking at the restaurant owner like, yeah, that's what we need. Hey, please voice your opinion. I am not here to try to sway you one way or the other. Every way that comes up, or even in the chat, say what you want. Kevin Mango, 2024. Thank you, Big Carl. Let me put that up for my man Kevin right here. Kevin,
okay.
What's up?
Hey, Pedro. Well, the first thing I'm going to say is priority number one is to make sure your fucking restaurant is nice and clean.
Ooh, yeah.
If the Uber Eats driver, DoorDash, or whoever the fuck they are, if they don't speak English, well, that's an inconvenience. But when there's cockroaches crawling around your damn kitchen, that's a health and safety issue.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know if that's what happened with this guy's cafe that he had in Washington, D.C., but you bring up a great point. I use the word convenience, and I think that maybe this owner was frustrated because it keeps happening in his district. I don't know, but you bring up a good point. Continue. What else you got?
And I'll tell you one damn thing. It's just another fine example of people worrying about the stupid ass shit or no, I get it. You know, I will say this. Now, if somebody doesn't speak English, yeah, it's a little frustrating, but I mean, really, you gotta cut somebody out? Tone, it's not your fucking country? That's just total bullshit.
Yeah,
that's total bullshit.
Yeah. I think, for me, Kevin, I think if that worker, that driver is not, he said he filmed for his safety because of how the guy was acting, right? So obviously things happened that weren't filmed, so we don't know the whole, maybe he did say something to the owner of the restaurant. Who knows? That set him off. But like, yeah, I think if the guy just looked at him and was like, hey man, try to learn a little bit of English next time. I know, maybe you're new here in this country. If you can learn a little English, let me help you. It's going to make this easier for both of us. That's how an owner talks, right? Kevin, like you don't belittle the dude, slam the food in his chest, call him out like that. Yeah, I think this owner's the donkey of the two. He's a clown here, not the driver. That's how I look at it.
I will say this, in 2024, I mean, damn, not only the good comedy, but it seems like the whole damn country is a fucking nut house.
Yeah,
in 2024.
You're right, man. There's a lot going on. And I think, like I said earlier, the temperature of everybody's so high. We're all kind of frustrated or we're stressed or we're uncertain about things. And, I feel like that too sometimes, Kevin, when I'm out just doing my work or doing whatever, like it gets like we're in a crazy time right now. So I do want to give a little bit of empathy to the owner because running a business is not, I'm sure it's not an easy thing, but like he's got to do better than that. I think they both have responsibility here, but I think the owner has a little bit more responsibility in my opinion. And
the bottom line is this country, it's a melting pot. It's a melting pot of different cultures. And you know what? I got news for you. The only true so-called Native Americans were the Indians that were here long before the first damn people came from Europe, okay? Or any other country. And you know what? We're not like China. We don't really have our own original culture. I mean, we're a melting pot.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not like Japan or we actually, our culture is a blend of different cultures that came here to North America.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, I think coming here, knowing English is the primary language, you gotta learn some just to be an American or an illegal American, like, you know, whatever you, to be here, if you're going to make money, you got to learn the language a little bit, right? But to be treated like that, I think the owner was completely out of line. But Kevin, I always appreciate having you on. I'm going to let a few other people up. Hey, man, I hope you had a good week and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, brother.
Yep. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin, my man, 20 grand. All right, let me get rid of this because I think I need to remove. Hold on. Somebody else can come up if they want. Hold on one second. Yeah, there's so many. There's so many levels here. You know, Kevin brings up some good points, but Americans are we're mad right now. Let's keep it real. The way the country's going, it's not great for some people, for a lot of people. For some it is, but for most, it's not. There's a lot of things going on. The world's changed tremendously over the last 10 years. It's changed a lot in this country. It just has. And I think a lot of people don't like it. Some people do because maybe it's benefiting them. But a lot of people feel like people from other countries are being treated better. We're sending billions of dollars to overseas, which is crazy to me. Shout out, and hopefully you guys are okay. All the Floridians out there that just got hit, and people I think in like parts of Georgia and South. There was something that happened in Louisiana maybe a couple of months ago, or like New Orleans, Louisiana, right? I mean, and we have funding and things on state levels for that kind of stuff, right? But like, I get the American perspective because Americans are struggling, but we're sending literally billions of dollars to other people. It's tough. It's hard because we want to help other parts of the world. That's good politics. It's good. You know, when you're in America and you're the strongest, most powerful country in the world, the best country, you have a responsibility to other places. We just do. It is what it is. But I think we've taken some things too far, and the temperament of Americans that are especially doing gig work, we feel like we're losing and other people are winning. Right? I think there's that. We have to also, I'm very aware of that part of it. It's crazy. All right. So I see Gig Bells, John. I see Santi. I see Jamal. Let me back my man Gig Bell Tolls up here. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. So this week was rough a little bit, but you know, overall,
Yeah,
I'm still breathing, so I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think about that video? What do you think about, you know, should gig workers in America be required to speak English? What do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think learning, if you're going to do gig work, I agree with you. You need to learn have at least basic understanding of English. Just, I mean, if anything, not just to help you, but to help you work better, but also for your safety's sake, if nothing else. I mean, because we in a situation where nobody can speak your language, and you'd be in trouble. And how do you get out of that situation? How do you communicate? You know, it's something that you got to learn. But as far as a restaurant owner, oh God, no. I used to own a restaurant, dude. No, I would never do that in a million years.
Yeah,
I would turn on Google Translate myself. I would do whatever I could to help the situation better. You know, every other way, but getting in somebody's face, especially shoving the guy's chest with the food. What the hell was that?
Yeah, and you know, I want to give the owner a little bit of leeway because we don't know what happened before the video was recorded, right? So there's that as well, you know. But based on what I can see, and based on the interviews I've seen from the driver and in the interviews I've seen from the owner, the driver seemed even keeled and even tempered and kind of like chill, right? So like I can't imagine he just stopped that and then decided to film the guy. You know what I mean? But it's interesting because the videos.
Hell, better than I would have.
A couple of videos that I watched, Bell Tolls, that covered this. A lot of support for the owner. They were like, yeah, like that's right. And I was surprised to see it because of how aggressive he was. I think some of the words that he were using, the cuss words is whatever, but like I think he's right about some things. The English part, like you got to learn a little bit, right? But the way he came out and did it, I thought was just kind of.
You got to maintain professionalism. You have to, especially if you're in business. I mean, because if you fly out the handle like that, that's a reflection on you. Then other customers, potential customers, will see that. Oh, this guy will get in somebody's face when he doesn't agree with him. I don't know if I want to eat there. I mean, you're just hurting yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
got to be frustrating, you know. I mean, I see so many people will just shove a phone in somebody's face and all that. But here's the thing: I was talking to a guy. I was waiting at a Starbucks, and we were talking, you know, just normal chatting, like, "Hey, how's your day?" Whatnot, like I usually do with other gig workers. And He said, "Hang on a second," and he did the same exact thing. Shoved his phone in the guy's face, and he spoke perfect English.
Yeah. No.
What the hell's wrong with people?
Yeah, I think we do it. You know, I've seen American English speaking drivers that are on one phone. They walk into a restaurant, they don't say anything, they just shove the phone in the
Yep.
You know? So
I see it all the time, man.
Yeah, I do think when that happens the majority of the time, yeah, it's from somebody that English is their second language. They don't speak a lot of it. And it is a rude thing. I don't think we should ever be doing that. Now, I do think there's a way you can show a worker the phone in a respectful way so that you're getting the right order. I think that's good business acumen and practices, you know? And some restaurants even ask for it. But like, yeah, the shoving immediately without saying anything, that's just wrong.
Like my method is I show and talk, but I don't like put the phone in their face. I just kind of turn it.
Yeah, sometimes I do that too. Sometimes they ask me or I'm verifying things. There's, you know, sometimes you might have two Scots that are on. You've got one, and you know what I mean? You want to make sure you're grabbing the right.
I had that situation today. I had two different names. I had to tell them the last letter.
Yeah.
The last name letter.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit before I get to the next guest. How was your week this week? And did you do gig work? How's it going? How you feeling?
Man, it was kind of a mixed bag everywhere. It was kind of a tie between DoorDash and Instacart this week. I've actually reached Diamond Cart status on Instacart, which is crazy. I never thought I'd get there.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's good.
But I'm seeing really big batches, so that's good.
Yeah, I would say with Instacart, when I was, is Diamond the highest?
Yeah, Diamond's the highest.
Okay. So I was Diamond for a few months, and I definitely feel like I saw more, and my experience was better. I'm whatever the lowest thing is right now, and I don't see a lot. So it's
right.
I think Instacart's interesting. It's interesting like that. You know, I definitely think there's something to the priority. So.
I do miss that they cut out the favorite shopper program though. I had like 20 people had me as their favorite shopper, so I was like, damn.
I didn't know they stopped that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they stopped, or at least in my market they did. I don't know about other markets, but here in Dallas, Texas, yeah, they took that off.
That sucks. Yeah, I had like one person that I had a conversation with it about maybe like a year ago. I don't know if I was ever anybody's favorite shopper or not. Maybe hers. I'm not sure. But
20.
I thought that was a good
21
feature.
Exactly. 21.
Yeah, that sucks that they took it away, man. That sucks. Well, hey, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I got some people waiting. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts, man.
Oh man, have a good one, dude.
All right, thank you. All right, still see you guys. I'll bring you gentlemen up in just a second here. Let me go ahead and the comments. Pitstar, what up, official cat? Thomas, yeah, it's crazy. People are saying crazy things, but they're sending me money. Yeah, you can send me money, but I'm gonna block you. So it is what it is. 10 years in the military. Okay. Eric says, I have to use a phone translation service every day in my job, W2 job. Everyone is human. Treat people like they're humans. Eric, I love that comment. Treat people based on how they treat you. Not because they're from a certain country, not because you assume something of them, because somebody else from that same country last week, or you gave you a bad experience in your restaurant, or you saw a news story about some gangs that are from this part of the world. And you can't lump everybody in. Not all the apples are bad. A few of them can be. All right. I mean, I think we have to, as gig workers, we got to stop assuming. I mean, I'll say this. There's a lot of Indians, people from India, okay, that are in St. Louis to do gig work. I see them all the time. Some of the nicest motherfuckers I've ever met. I take pictures with them. Some of them know me from YouTube. They're out here hustling, doing their thing. So if I have one bad interaction with some dude, or one Indian guy does something bad in South St. Louis, I'm supposed to assume all those people are bad? That's where we got to be better. We can't be land of the free, home of the brave, best country in the world, and act like that. You lose some of your swag when you act like that business owner and you assume things. Or if you're a driver and you're like, oh, these guys, all these people, you can do it, but I'm saying it's not a good look. We have to be better. We have to be better. We have to rise above the pettiness of the assumption and this and that. We can't do that. These people are doing the same kind of work we're doing. Now they need to learn some English to help themselves and us and the customers and the merchants. And they need to do it legally. They got to do it the right way. But I would challenge you once again. Your great-grandfather came to this country. He was not American. I'm going to say it one more time for everybody in the back of the class in the BetonYou basement. I'll get to the next panelist in just a second. Your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather was not American. maybe some of y'all, a few of y'all in the chat. There's 137 of y'all. At least 100 of y'all, your great-great-grandparents were not American. Let that sink in for a minute. They came here. They want an opportunity. Lowest barrier of entry back in the day. Some kind of farming, working with your hands, working in what do you call it? A factory, doing some kind of work that doesn't pay you a lot. You get in easy. That's what gig work is right now. That's why these people are doing it. They have responsibility to do it the right way. I'm not giving them a pass, but I just want us to tone it down the temperature a little bit and think about the people that you know in your life and where they came from and what they had to do to get here and what jobs they did and what hustles did they do. I don't think I'm far off in thinking and feeling that way. Let me bring up my man Santi. I think it's Santi or Santi. I'm really bad at names. Let me bring him up. What's up, brother?
Going, man? How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. What do you got on your mind, man? What do you think about that video? Do you think English should be required to do gig work? The floor is yours.
I mean, it depends on the apps, right? They're the ones that are hiring you. The restaurants, it depends. It's like people want to generalize everything, and like you said, it's not everything. It's everything supposed to be this way or that way. In a country where you majority speak English, right? But you have places where, especially Spanish, bro. Here in America, you have everything translated to Spanish. The bathrooms, everything is Spanish, bro. So it's like a contradiction in a way. You expect people to speak English, yet you put things translated in Spanish, so it's going to be easier for people not to learn English.
That's
right?
a really good point, and we have to understand we have, especially in places California, Texas, Florida, New York, exactly. Chicago, millions and tens of millions of Spanish-speaking Americans from all over the world, right? And it's interesting. What do you think about that video? When you watch that video, do you feel like what do you think? What do you feel when you see the video?
I think it's all used to promote something, because no video like that just at a random something. I'm the type that I think people that don't want solutions, they just want to point the finger. That's people don't want solutions. They just want to point that guy, this guy. There's that guy's the fault. But they don't really want to do the solution. That's why I think people like to point fingers. They don't want to do what they have to do. It's just like gig work. You can point at their boss, you can blame the people that take the low orders, but at the end of the day, it's up to you what you decide to do, right?
Yeah.
Whatever people do, you can't control. Whatever happens, like the people blaming the illegals, that's like a thing. That's not something simple you can just fix. It's something deeper than just,
Yeah.
right?
I think, and like I said earlier,
when it comes to English, bro, especially in Florida, bro, the majority of people, even if I do speak Spanish to somebody and they might look white, because I look more Spanish, right? But they look white to me, or they look American, quote unquote, right? So I speak to them in English, but they come back and speak to me in Spanish. So it's, especially in Florida, people that speak Spanish understand this, right? If you look less white, they'll speak Spanish to you.
Yeah.
So this is something just deeper. The people that are stuck in the TV, the people that are just fed the hate, division, they don't see past that. They stay in that bubble, man. They don't go past that bubble.
That's what, I'm glad you brought that up, and that's partly why I wanted to have this convo, because I think there's always two sides to everything, right? And we have to look at each other as human beings first. So we got to stop listening to the news and this and that. Like, watch it, but also what is your experience in your time, right? How are the people in your market treating you? Like, what's your reality? I think sometimes we look at what's happening in Washington, D.C. or California or Colorado, and then we take that and we place it in our workplace. And that might not be the case here, right? So while other places might have issues, and St. Louis might, in Florida, it doesn't mean we can't paint this wide brush with everything, right? I think it's really bad, but I think I'm aware, Santi, that like gig workers especially, we're frustrated. We're not making good money. We feel like it's a grind. It's not glamorous work. We get crapped on a lot. It's easy, but it's also not like a great way to make money long term. So I think that the frustrations are just kind of boiling over. And like you said, some of us need to have who do we point the finger at, right? Who do we pass the blame to?
Me.
Yeah, instead of looking in the mirror, right?
Right. And I think I have a better quote. You said, treat others how they treat you. I think, well, I'm a Christian, so I'll go the Christian way. I think it was better said, treat others the way you want to be treated, which is even if people treat you bad, you still got to treat somebody else the way you want to be treated. Because if you say treat somebody the way they treat you, that means you're going to be like them, right?
Yeah, no, that's a really good
If they
point.
treat you bad, you treat them bad.
Yeah,
I think it's better. It's a more humble
yeah,
teaching to say, treat others the way you want to
yeah,
be treated. That way, if people do treat you bad, you still try to. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect.
yeah.
But
No,
at least that code is there to follow, man.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that. Hey, I appreciate you coming in and dropping your thoughts, man, and watching the show. I'm gonna let the next guest up, but have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank
Hey,
you.
man, I hope everything goes better for you, bro. I've been watching your videos. God bless you, man.
Hey, I appreciate you very much, man. Everything will be good. You know, sometimes I gotta just get it out. You know what I mean? Like for me, that's good. You know, but I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. All right, brother. You too. All right. Love it. All right, so I still see my man John Henry, Jamal. I see my man Big Carl representing the 314, and I also see, I think it says Red One. All right. So yeah, I just I'm trying to find a way to have a better understanding of that owner, because I realize we all have bad days, man. I've had them. I've done things on YouTube I don't always feel great about. You know, I've been sitting at a red light and the person in front of me don't go and I honk my horn, or you know what I mean? Somebody cuts me off and I flick them off. Like I've had thousands of moments that I don't love how I reacted to a situation. But when you're dealing in business, I do think that's a little bit different. And this guy is an owner of this establishment based on all the reports. And I'm trying to figure out a way, like, what could this driver have done that bad to make this guy pop off like that? You know what I mean? And the only thing I can think of is this guy's frustrated. He's got a lot going on. This guy came in and he's just tired. Maybe this was the 20th guy that came in that didn't know English. And that was that 20th time where the guy put the phone in or was like, I don't understand English. I can see how that could be frustrating. But I think it's a teachable moment, right? And even for me, situationally, right? When you're dealing with people, right? There's two ways you can react. You could like trigger react and just go at them because you're upset, which we all get upset. Or you can say, okay, hold up. This is my business here. How do I talk to this guy? Because, hey, if he don't speak English, he probably knows at least 10 other drivers in his market, whether it's family or friends or maybe even more, that also might not speak great English and might pick up food from my establishment. So what can I tell this guy that he could help the other people that he knows so that the next time we have an interaction in my cafe, it's better? Could he put a sign up in Spanish? You know, you see, I used to run restaurants. This is where my brain goes. If I see a problem, an issue, something that, what do you call it? A practice or procedure, because that's what it is in restaurants. You have practices, procedures, standards. You have timing, you have this, you have that. A lot of things happening, a lot of balls to juggle at once while you're running a restaurant. Trust me, it's not easy. People think it is. Whether it's McDonald's or a buffet, it sometimes ain't easy. But there could be signage that you could put up, helping the drivers pick up the orders so you can make your money as a business owner, right? It could, in some places have signage. There could be a number of things. So for me, I'm gonna still, until somebody changes my mind, that owner is a donkey of the day. He's a clown. He did not handle it correctly. Let me bring my man John Henry up, see if he's got some perspective on this. John Henry's been with us a few times, I think. John, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm happy you're here. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. Don't know if you've seen the video before. Just give me some perspective on what you think.
I've seen the video before, and I had experience on a video like that with an owner and a I'm gonna say an immigrant, which was a couple days ago.
Oh, really?
Actually, I was in a restaurant here in Albany, Georgia, and an immigrant came in, and he couldn't speak English, but the young lady handled it well, and he had his phone. He went to Google Voice or whatever. I never used it, but I seen him do it. He came in, and I've seen him around a couple of times, and he's out here like everybody else trying to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he showed her the phone, and she got the order and gave it to him, and they communicated through the Google app, and so he left. And so I had to wait quite a while for the order I was waiting on. So
Mhm.
another immigrant young lady comes in, and she couldn't speak English at all. She had an attitude problem. But
Mhm.
the owner of that video is a clown. But I I understand why a lot of people feel the way they do about the immigrants.
Yeah.
I felt that way too by sitting at, like I told you, I've been on your show several times. I've been doing Walmart for 3.5 years, Walmart Spark.
So you
First
know.
out here, first out the gate, making a bunch of money. Up until the last year or so, it's flooded with immigrants. And
Yeah.
the only way you're gonna make some money out here in the gig economy, you got to think outside the box. You just can't rely on Walmart, DoorDash. It's like with me, I do Walmart, I do DoorDash. I got back on DoorDash. I do an app called Go Load Up. I do a
Mm.
junk removal service for myself. I started that. I make money off that. I think outside of the box because it's gonna continue to get flooded with different types of people of all
Yeah.
races.
Yeah.
It's just where it's going. There's nothing we can do about it. We get mad with the government because the government might be giving them money. But the
Mhm.
thing is, this been going on for years with the government giving other countries money when you have people here in America that's struggling like you and I.
Yeah.
And so our government is going to continue to send our tax dollars across the seas. Nothing we can do about it. I hear a lot of people say, well, I pay taxes. That's our money. I, I pay taxes as well,
Yeah.
but I don't worry about the money I pay. And I probably I might live to see to get some money back at 65 or whatever the age may be. But
Yeah.
until then, I got to keep working and keep turning corner. But the thing is, the only way you're gonna stop this immigration problem, in some of your shows, you post about the immigrants sitting on the rock, and I laugh because I see it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
thing is, my thing is, I have no problem with them making money and trying to survive. My problem is with them using 3 or 4 phones. They sitting out there. It's like we're talking. These big spot companies like Walmart, Spark, DoorDash, and all the rest of the companies, they know what's going on. They
Yeah.
have to stop that. They have to stop that. They know these people are using fake IDs. And I hear from my customers that I delivered to over the years. If a immigrant come to their home and they feel unsafe and they got signed for the grocery, they looking at the ring camera, they will not take the grocery because most of the time when the immigrants go up to their home, instead of it being one, it's 3 or 4 of them in the car now. And so if it's a
Yeah.
female you're delivering to, they're not going to open the door. They're going to say, that's
Yeah.
not my regular delivery driver. And then when I go back, they'll send it back to Walmart. And after all the returns Walmart gets from the regular customers paying for this service,
Yeah.
look like they would do better and say, well, we keep getting returns from this customer that we had for years. Something's wrong, and they have to correct the problem. But
Yeah.
the thing is what I'm saying, you got to think outside the box and try to move on. You got to create something new and just instead of staying and say, well, I'm just gonna do DoorDash. I'm gonna get up in the morning, go do DoorDash from six to 10 while it's busy. Then the next
Yeah.
4 hours do this. You
Those
can't
days
do
are
it.
gone.
Can't do it.
Those days are gone. We
Those
gotta
days
have
are
all
those days are
ways.
gone because just like the Venezuelans are coming here, more and more people are gonna come here. You know, I see it every day, and I see it. I can tell you, I got frustrated. I was usually out here making almost a little over a grand a week. Then I went to $200, went to nothing.
Well,
But
and
I had
John, I think you bring up a good point, and I'm happy that you shared it with us because, like I said earlier, I think the temperature's high with a lot of us. We're stressed out, we're frustrated. The money, we're all out here to make money. When we see people that are coming in, regardless of where they're from, it sucks if they're going to take away a piece of our pie, right?
right.
Especially if they're not doing it, if they got 5 phones or they got this or they're doing it illegally. It's not even their account. That it starts to wear on us a little bit because we're like, hey, I'm just trying to play the game the right way, and I went from 1,000 to 200, right? And that sucks. But I like how you brought up, and Dash and Grandpa just mentioned it. The companies, Walmart, they know about this, right? They know about it. But I think, John, part of the problem is so many deliveries are being facilitated by people that are illegal or whatever, that the company's like, I just want the food delivered. And if tomorrow Walmart Spark really took a hard stance and said, hey, we're going to verify everybody and we're going to do this face thing, which they do, and there's ways around it, but we're also going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to hold the stores responsible for asking the right questions, asking for ID. And if that ID doesn't match the account, we don't give you the order. If that happened, Walmart would be in shambles because they'd have, millions of dollars of orders that aren't going out. So I don't know what I don't know what the fix is for it, but obviously Walmart, DoorDash, where they know about it, John. And I think they hold more responsibility to this than you and I or people from other parts of the world. You know what I mean?
But some of what I have done, like my customers from over the years, I was in the car business, and the main thing I done in the car business was on the phone, on the toilet, or on the lot, and passing out business cards. I got business cards made. When I deliver to a customer, they tell me that. I said, look, you could place your order and pick me up and put me as a driver, and I can pick the order for you. I do that.
Yeah.
They'll call it, they'll make their order, they'll text me that the order ready. I go to Walmart, pick it up, and I still get paid.
Yeah.
And I got like 10 customers, and it's growing, but you got to be persistent at what you do.
Yeah.
You can still make money, but it's going to be harder and harder with, it's just the way, until, like we just said, until Walmart, DoorDash, Uber, whoever does something about this, it's going to continue. They just want the money like we want the money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. John, I appreciate you coming in and sharing some of the things that you do to combat the less opportunity by doing some other little gigs and having something for yourself and handing cards out. I think that's really good. Well, John, remind us, what market are you representing again?
Albany, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. I know it felt like it was somewhere south. Now, were you
Yeah,
guys?
I'm in Albany.
Okay. Were you impacted by the what was going on in Florida? Did that hit some of you or not?
It was coming at us, but it decided to go east. It missed us by a couple of inches.
Yeah.
But we did get rain and wind.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain and wind on Friday too, but obviously nothing like what was going on in Florida.
It ended up going towards Savannah. We ended up going through Moultrie, Tifton, and headed towards Savannah and crossing over.
Yeah, I got to ask you one more question, my friend, to bring up the next guest, not gig related. Are you a football fan?
Nah.
Okay.
Basketball.
You didn't watch the Alabama-Georgia game yesterday?
Nah, I was probably asleep.
That was a crazy one. You missed a good one. John, I
heard
appreciate
about
you sharing time with us, man. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John. My man, John. All right. I mentioned the Alabama-Georgia game. That game was insane. I think Alabama was up 28-0 or something at 28-7. Georgia comes back, takes the lead in the fourth quarter with, I think, a little over 2 minutes to go or something. The next play, a 17-year-old wide receiver, 17, graduated early from high school. Technically, he should be a senior in high school. He's a wide receiver for Alabama. Stud. Catches like a 78-yard touchdown. I mean, it was an amazing game. Unbelievable. Roll Tide. I'm not a fan either way, but I mean, just a fun football game to watch. 17-year-old kid. Amazing. Anyways, all right, enough about football. All right, I see. Let me get back into the live here. I see a few people waiting. I'm still going to bring you guys up. Anybody in the chat? Let's read some comments here. Using bots, says Brian from Brian in Orlando. What up? Yeah, a lot of bots out there. Georgia did come back and made it a game. Yep. Let's see. 17 is early. That's when I graduated. Yeah, 17-year-old making big play. I mean, crazy. Buffalo's getting worked. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. My Bears won today, so I'm happy. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up Jamal here. He's been waiting patiently. Jamal, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Pedro, how are you?
I'm doing well. What do you think about tonight's topic, my friend? The floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, it's a pleasure meeting you here, and it's an honor for being in your account for the first time.
Thank you. It's an honor that you give me some of your time tonight and you're watching. So I'm ready to hear what you think about this video.
I did take a few notes when I watched the video. Well, the first issue is that the the guy has no right to talk to the man that way, even though that he didn't speak English. But that doesn't give him the right to treat him like that. And when you say that this is in your country, go back to your country. If we all want to go back that way, then if we go back to the history, this isn't anybody's land.
Exactly.
It belongs to the Native Americans. And what we are here, whether we like it or not, we're all immigrants. It doesn't matter if you have a father here as an American, your grandfather, by history remains history. So to me, if anybody says something like that to anybody else, it sounds ridiculous. Also, if you look at the way the place looks, it doesn't look appetizing to me at all. Another thing that I'm pretty sure that that's my opinion. I'm pretty sure that other gig workers, as a result of that, they're gonna remember the place, and anybody that get a delivery over there, they're not gonna take it. They're gonna start doing some boycott.
I could see that. I could definitely see word getting around. And right now, the business isn't even open. But that's a really good point. I don't think anybody brought up. I appreciate you saying that.
Also, one more thing. There's a part of responsibility that anybody as a gig worker should take. Yes, like you said earlier, you should speak like at least 20 words of English or a few words of English so that you'll be able to communicate. It's really important. It makes things easier for you. Because if you don't speak that much English or you don't speak English at all, it makes it harder for you to pick up the orders, because some of the restaurants may have issues with the computer. Let's say you have an order for Jacob. They don't know whose Jacob is that, so they're gonna talk to you, they're gonna ask you, and you don't know what the heck they're saying. It's hard for them. They could get frustrated. Also, there is other reason that for that guy to react like that. Could it be that he had like some bad previous experience with other migrants that made him react like that?
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's a possible.
Yeah, I think that's probably, this wasn't the first time that something like that happened. I just think this one was caught on tape, and the guy probably maybe was so frustrated with the prior experiences that might have involved this same guy or not. I'm not sure. The driver said he hadn't been there before, but I think you bring up a good point, right? I think it may be compounded, and he just needed to take it out on somebody,
Yeah, it could be. And when you see the driver like taking the video like that, it looks like, I don't know, maybe the beginning of the video, maybe some of the parts that we didn't see, like before he was start taking the video, it could be questions related. Maybe he was asking about the order. Which Jacob is that? Which Jason is that? And the guy doesn't know what he. And believe me, sometimes some people get frustrated at certain employees when they don't speak English, because it makes it very hard for them, especially when it's busy.
Yeah.
And
really
also, the driver himself should take big responsibility and go to school to learn a few words so that he'll be able to do the gig work more easy in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving that perspective from that business owner standpoint, because he might have been asking that driver, hey, we got two Jamals here. Which one are you here for? Right? And the guy's like, I don't speak English. That's frustrating if I'm an owner, right? But he definitely could have handled it better. There's easy ways to figure out which order he really has and blah, blah, blah. But I think you bring up an interesting and a really fair point from the business owner perspective, because yeah, he might have just been, and that's on the driver. You got to know a few key words,
Yeah. And also what the gentleman earlier from Georgia, what he said, he brought a very important point, which is true. By the way, I'm calling from the state of New York. I'm from New York City.
Ooh, New
and
York.
what he said is, yeah, I'm from the Big Apple. And when he said, like, some of the issues, some of the problems that he discussed earlier with you were completely true, about some people using fake accounts, fake IDs. It's true. Some of the people in the houses don't feel safe because instead of seeing one driver, you gotta see 2-3 people that you don't know. Maybe they dress in a weird way. Because a lot of incident, man, in New York happened using the deliveries, especially DoorDash and Uber Eats. A lot of that, the incident, We had some issues where people were using scooters with plate numbers that were not shown, and they were, they were used for crimes and bad things. So for people to feel like that, for people to be defensive, I don't blame them. I totally agree. I totally agree with the gentleman from Georgia earlier, where he said, and I thank him very much for bringing this issue forward, because this is also an issue related to the gig world. And thank you so much, Mr. Pedro. It's been a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
I appreciate you for spending time, and sorry you had to wait so long. I know I talk a lot, but Jamal, have
No problem. No problem. Take it easy, my friend. Have a good one.
All right, loving the perspectives here. They're similar, but there's also some nuance and balance and different perspective, and that's what I was kind of looking for tonight. I appreciate all that from you guys. All right, I see my man Big Carl. Let me bring him up. Carl, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, buddy?
Chilling, man. You know. What do you think about this, man? I know in St. Louis we see some of this stuff, right? So give me some perspective, man.
Man, I'm really torn by it, because for a country with the name the United States of America to be so divided is just it's mind blowing. Like, we need more unity and less hate, because everybody's had their own perspective, and you know what, I think they've all said pretty much what I was gonna say. I just, it's really disheartening, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, we need to stop letting evil win. Yeah. We really do, man. It's
you're right. It's winning right now, isn't it, bro? It's winning right now, and that's bad.
I see it every day, and like I said, I'm from St. Louis, but I'm currently in Cahokia, kind of East St. Louis area, and I don't want nobody coming for me, but if that guy went to one of the restaurants over here and was like that, he gonna get the same response.
Yeah.
So come for me if you want to, but I'm speaking what I live and what I've seen. And I don't know where this video was or what city it was, but
Washington D.C.
Yeah, they got there's hoods in D.C.
Oh yeah.
I think the driver didn't, and I can't blame him, but I don't think he realized where he was at, what area he was in, and what can really happen out here. Like, if you ask me, he's really lucky that he left that day.
Yeah.
This world is, man, I'm telling you, like, my perspective is way different because I see things differently. And I want, that's all good and fine. We all have our own opinions and whatnot, but this world is crazy, man. Like, people
that could have went sideways real quick, Carl. We're in St. Louis, right? Certain parts of St. Louis, this is not a safe city. And can you imagine,
it's not.
Like, being somewhere out in East St. Louis, North County, South Side on South Grand, and you're delivering to State Street, you're picking up from this spot, like, things can go sideways quick. And it's almost better that the driver was kind of chill, because if that driver's not chill, that could turn, you're talking about a food delivery, talking about now we got the police call because somebody got shot, Yeah,
like I said, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want nobody coming for me personally, but I just, like I said, I'm just speaking the real, like, but I think both were in the, both the gig worker and the restaurant owner, they were both wrong. They were both ill prepared, but that guy, his reaction speaks to who he truly is. And I bet you that guy's got a lot of, things going on. I bet his struggle is extremely real, and he lashed out at someone. People are so on edge that you'd be surprised what could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. There was just 2 road rage shootings, in St. Louis, and I hate to say it was North County.
Yeah.
It's almost like a record on repeat.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not wrong, man. I think, and I appreciate you giving that perspective, because I'm trying to understand the business owner side a little more, like, because we had those bad days. We all have a story. We all have going on, and running a business isn't easy. And maybe this could have been the 20th guy that day that came in that didn't speak English, and it just boiled over. I can respect that. I've been there, right? But
I know, but
it's like we got to be more united, like you said in the beginning, right? Like, that's what this country is. This is the greatest country ever created. Carl, in my opinion. It has flaws, but it's the greatest country created, right? So we have to do a better job of respecting that, honoring that, and honoring the people that are here. And the ones that are bad, we can't let a few spoil the whole bunch, because then eventually we're gonna let evil win, like you said, and nobody's gonna fucking win if evil wins, you know?
No, and the problem is also we have a mental health epidemic. I want to, it's definitely mental health. Boy, it's on the decline nationwide, and it's scary.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's alarming. I'm not afraid of it, but it's alarming. It's something that needs to be, and I'm afraid it may be getting to a point to where I don't know if not that there's a solution, but the means to one.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Because
Carl, let me say, I'll say this, bro. Like, and we've met each other a few times, right? For you guys that don't know, Carl's in, he's Big Carl 314. He's in St. Louis. We've seen and spoken a few times, and I've been thinking about that a lot, the mental health aspect of just us and what I do and how I'm feeling, and like, even I've been taking some real deep dives into like diet and what we eat and how that impacts our mental health and how it impacts our temperament. And it's the number one issue in this country, in my opinion, is mental health. That's just how I look at it. I think the mental health epidemic goes into a lot of different ways, right? And what people can do when your mental health is right, or what they can't do. So, that's a whole. We got to do a lot.
No, I know, and like you said, we didn't see what happened before he started recording, but I feel like, that restaurant owner, man, he's fighting demons, and he's got some issues, bro. That I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say I haven't never gone through nothing. Like, I ain't trying to say, oh, the pot calling the kettle black, but you're verbally and physically exerting what's going on inside you.
Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate you bringing that point to the table, because I feel like you're spot on with why he reacted the way he did for a very small thing. Obviously the food was there. He pushed the food in the guy's chest. So like, they figured it out. So for him to take it to that level, looks like it might cost him his business, and that's not good. I hope he doesn't have a family that relies on that business to run, right? Because now he's closed, and that sucks for him, right?
Yeah, people that are doing well for themselves don't tend to not act like that.
That's a good point.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, people with money, like, they don't. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just that's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you spending some time with us tonight, man. I'm gonna let the next two people waiting, but have a good night, brother.
Hey, you do the same, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. Stay safe. All right, my man. Big Carl representing the 314. All right. I'm like, good perspective. I think, when we're talking about understanding both sides and not knowing what happened before the video was taped, and trying to have empathy for the business owner, empathy for the driver, because this was a minor thing, right? Well, like I said, the poll question, should gig drivers be required to know and speak English? I think as a gig worker, as an independent contractor, it's my responsibility to know keywords of the language that I'm working with. So in the scenario, if I'm going to Thailand next month and I'm going to work in Thailand for a month, I need to learn some Thai or Mandarin or whatever it is there, right? I need to know that, because I need to do my business. I need to make money, right? I need to make money. I mean, that's just how it is. If I was gonna go even work in Canada, okay, there's a lot of parts in Canada, they speak French, they do this, the culture might be different. I need to know those things. I'll even take it a step even more local and more real and more realistic. If I decide to spend a month in a very rural part of America, okay, where, there's not a lot, the life's a little bit different than a city like St. Louis or Chicago or whatever, I need to know what's important to the people in that marketplace. What's important? Is there certain keywords or what slang that I should say or not say? Is there a certain way that I should dress appropriate? As an independent contractor, as a gig driver, even if I'm not from this country, I should know those kind of things. We all have phones. We all have devices. We have Google Translate. We have a wealth of knowledge and information to help us as gig workers make money for our families and not have crazy interactions like this. So there's responsibility on the driver part. But in this scenario, there is more responsibility on that owner of that cafe. There just is. He fucked up. That driver, that owner of that cafe's business is shut down right now. That driver is still working. And some of you can say, well, he shouldn't be because he doesn't know English, but he is. And if he gets deactivated from Uber or DoorDash, I hope he doesn't. As long as he's not doing anything stupid, right? But it's not a requirement that I'm aware of that you have to speak English to work in a gig economy. It's not a requirement right now. If they make it one, hey, a lot of people are going to have to figure out where they land with that, right? But it's not right now. So that business owner lost his business. That driver is still driving, making money. Who won? All right, let's bring up the next guest. I see you. How you doing,
Hello.
brother? How you doing, man?
How are you doing, Pedro?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you tonight?
I'm really good.
So,
okay, first of all,
the floor is yours.
Yep. First of all, I do really appreciate the energy and the high value you're bringing in the channel.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And my perspective in this is I'm not gonna get into what I agree in most of the subject, but I'm gonna talking about what part exactly that I disagree with.
Okay.
Which is you earlier mentioned that most of people are with the business owner and have some empathy in that situation. And I will say this is completely wrong by law and by humanity. Why? Because I do believe he just do something wrong. And that's why the driver will still work and they shut out the business for him.
You mean you feel the business owner did something wrong, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. Because they shut down the business because he did something wrong. And the driver will still work because it's the truth and it's his right. Simply as that. And the reason why the people have some empathy with the business owner, because they blame and they feel like the migrants is the reason for their financial situation, for the economy of the country, for everything. They just want to blame. I mean, you are in the situation where you are because of you, not because of the migrants. There's enough. I do believe that there's enough for everybody. You're not getting better because you don't want to, because there's a lot of factors about that, but don't blame some others. And they always put the reason because we don't want to bring the immigrants who make criminal, and this is completely wrong.
It is wrong. I'm glad you said that. It is. I think there's a rhetoric that these immigrants or migrants that are coming are criminals and gang members and rapists, and that to me is so diabolically false on a large scale, right? And go ahead, continue though. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, even by the data, not just talking. I mean, if you go to the data, you will see like less than % of migrants, less than 2% of migrants making crimes.
Yeah.
So it is not the reason. The migrants, why they came here is because the opportunity. This is why. They are providers, they have responsibilities, and they are completely good. So long story short is the business owner, he deserved what he got because he was miserable, he was disrespectful and wrong. That's what I do believe. And the people who like support him, they also wrong, even if they are 100 million people. It's wrong by law and it's wrong by humanity. That's what I do believe, and that's my perspective.
No, I like that. And when I mentioned earlier, because I watched a couple of videos from a couple different channels, and I went through just a few 20 comments or so reading, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, this guy's saying what I feel," or he's right, he's rude, but he was right. So there was support for the owner, but I think you said it really well as far as it doesn't matter if it's 100 million people that feel that way.
Exactly.
I mean, what he did was wrong. And I'll say this, I know you said he gets what he deserves, and I will agree with you, but I will challenge you on one thing. I don't want this guy to lose his business. I think everybody deserves, I don't want him to have.
Give me a reason.
Yeah, well, I don't want him. I don't know this man. He might be a community leader. He might have had a bad moment. We don't know what happened before the driver started recording. The driver disrespectful or rude. And that doesn't give the owner any leeway to do what he did. But I don't believe, I wouldn't want him to lose his business. I think there's a way he could make this a positive for his community in Washington, D.C. by working with the migrants in that community to have a better understanding, right, about what he wants and maybe other fellow business owners. He could turn this to a positive. Do I think he'll do it? Probably not. But I would hate to see a man lose his whole business. If you're running a cafe and you're a business owner, that's your life, right? And I'd hate to happen. Now, do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. He had some other issues, obviously, but if I'm him, I'm trying to figure out, how do I turn this around? How do I publicly apologize? How do I get with this man, apologize, and have other people from his community come in and treat him to a lunch and say, hey, like, this is my business. I want to do business with you guys. This is what would help me help you. And he could turn it around. I think it'd be very easy for him to do that. But I understand your point as far as he gets what he deserves, because what he did was completely wrong.
Okay. So you said you don't want him. So basically what you're trying to say is you don't want him to lose his business, but you don't know him. And you just earlier said, I don't care who you are, who you came from. I'm gonna judge you by your actions. Yeah. So we just judge him by his action, and what's most importantly, he decide what he want to do, and he did what he decide is right by his mind or whatever. So that details is make us can judge somehow, because like you said, we don't have what happened before that, but in any way he should take the responsibility. Why? Simply because he is business owner.
That's a great point. Yeah.
If you do something wrong with the police officer, who should show respect first? Obviously the police officer. Why? Because he's in the high place. Who should show respect first? Who should do good things first?
I agree.
It's not you. So he don't deserve to have a business because he don't have the mentality. Maybe he's not educated enough. Maybe it just happened what happened. So that's it.
I want to read this comment from Johnny, and I think this comment is actually, there's a lot of truth here, because there are a lot of people that will support this business guy. Apologize. This guy is going to get so much support, it's going to be crazy. I think this guy, if his business opens back up, there will be a subset of individuals that will support his business because of his actions. And I don't agree with that. I would not spend $1 of my hard-earned money in that cafe. You couldn't give me a cup of coffee for free. I wouldn't drink it, right? But there are people that will support him because they feel like he feels. You know what I mean? There are enough. Maybe.
Yeah, because they're gonna basically they're gonna support him to like, I don't know how to say it. I don't have the right word, but they will support him just to oh my God, like just to make themselves feel safe and feel safe and feel safe from within. You know what I mean? Somehow.
Make them
It's
feel
like
better.
it's not for us. I mean, the situation what's going nowadays in America, it's because of those immigrants, how they make the environments, how they make the economy, how they treat us. They didn't know English. They that blah blah blah. So that's most of them why they want to support him, because the truth, the lie we have in this society, we have the law enforcement. So when the law enforcement decides something, we do believe it's right.
Yeah. Let me ask you one final question, and I appreciate you spending time with us tonight. How important do you feel about you knowing English to do gig work? How important is that to you?
By percentage, or
however you want to measure it. Is it
Okay.
important? Is it important to you to know English in order for you to do gig work?
It is extremely important. By myself, I start learn English in 2016 and I stop it in 2018. But I keep like practice it. I'm losing it somehow, but I can prove myself with it. But me especially, I don't have like big time here. I'm still new in the US, but I want to go further. I want to keep prove myself with it, because it's how much fast I got English, how many doors can open to me quickly. I do connections. I do know people. I can be in, especially for a person who keep grinding and have high aims to achieve. It is necessarily for everybody's safety, not just like for me, for everybody, for the society. It is important.
I agree with you, and I think it's important, and I think more men and women, like we need more of that. We need more people of understanding how it can be a safety issue. It should be important to understand that language, because there's great benefits to it, right? It doesn't lose your culture. It doesn't mean you have to lose your native tongue at all. It just means you're adding something that is a positive for you, right? And not having it be a hindrance in your business. Hey, I appreciate you for coming.
All right. Thank you so much, Pedro.
Be
I do
safe.
really appreciate it. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Some great panelists tonight. My energy is high. I'm happy we're having this conversation. We're not here to solve the world's problems. This is a gig channel. But I just found that the video disturbing, interesting, fascinating in some ways, because there's so many people on both sides. And it just shows how divided this country is. And that it's concerning. Because growing up as a kid, I used to watch, I'm still a big movie. I love movies. And we would watch movies. It'd be a sci-fi movie, or it might be this kind of movie. People in the chat have mentioned Gangs of New York. I love that movie. So amazing. Daniel Day-Lewis, the best actor ever. Hands down. There's a few guys that are close, but he is the GOAT of acting, in my humble opinion. I remember as a kid watching the movie My Left Foot. If you've never seen it, check it out. This man is a acting genius. Okay, I remember watching movies like Total Recall, right? Terminator, Coming to America, not Coming to America. Sorry, which that's a good movie, but not that one. But I guess it kind of plays here too. But Made in America. It's an old Robert De Niro's in it. I think Scorsese. Anyways. There's so many movies I used to watch up about the history of America, or even what America might become, the future of it. And I feel like some of these movies felt so odd, like that would never happen. That would never happen. A movie like The Hunger Games, that seems so unreal. Go back and look at some YouTube clips of The Hunger Games, the first one more specifically, and maybe the second. There are some things happening in this country right now that are similar, not the same. But we got issues here. And I think, like I said in the beginning, it speaks to the temperament and the frustration and the stress level of a lot of Americans. And then the stress level of the migrants. Can you imagine being a migrant because we're all Americans here, or most of us are probably Americans here, right? Or born here. And we're feeling frustrated about lack of opportunity, lost opportunity, this, that, people getting $1,000 for this, or they're getting put up in a hotel, or they're getting put up in a house, and we're struggling. You know, you just had your car repoed, your lights got turned off. You went to Aldi and you spent $200 on groceries, where 3 years ago it was $100. These are real things Americans are facing. And then this person just got here a month ago, and you don't have to know them to feel this, and they just got a EBT card with $2,000 on it because they got a couple of kids, and free housing, and they got a free car loan. And we don't get that. I get the frustration. But to be a migrant, to come here and have to deal with that, with the hate, the prejudice, and you've done nothing. You came here the right way. You're a migrant. You got asylum, or you got this, or you got that. You're just trying to, you got 2 daughters. You come from a country that has gangs or war or this, or there was no jobs. You're living on, and then you come here and somebody tells you, hey, we're going to give you some food. We're going to give you a place to live, so your babies have a place to live. The fuck? You telling me you wouldn't do that? You telling me your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather didn't do the same thing, maybe? And the world is different, and the opportunities are different now. It might be easier for them and harder for your great-great-grandfather or your great-great-grandfather, or it might have been harder for you. You might have just been here for 10 years. But I can't look at that family and be like, they don't belong here. I can't. Y'all can call them what you want. I see people talking about Pedro Harris, like I love Kamala Harris. Let me tell you something right now. You don't know me that well. I am not for either of these parties. So you can take that comment and shove it up your ass, okay? So I can have a heart and have compassion. So if you think that makes me some libtard or Democrat, you're an idiot. But, you know, I just think that we're lost in a lot of ways. And when I saw that video, man, I see a gig driver that was chill. He's just trying to make money, man. And like my man John Henry said from Georgia, he saw in his market that the opportunities were less, $1,000. I think he said 200 or 250. I went from making 1,000 in a Walmart Spark. I was making 200 or 250 bucks. That's a huge dip. But he decided, well, okay, am I going to let these people that are taking my jobs, regardless of who it is, am I going to let them stop me from making a G? No, I just need to find another way to make up the difference. I need a new hustle. I need to do this. I need to not go to this Walmart anymore. I can still be mad about it. I ain't trying to take your feelings from you. They're valid. What's happening in your marketplace is valid. But we can sit in our cars and be mad about it and kick our feet, or we could try to figure it out. We could write letters to our local congressmen and women, our senators, our governors, and say, hey, this is happening. I don't like this. You can vote. You can use your power to vote. If you don't like what's happening, if you're in a blue state, vote red. If you think that's going to make it better for you. I'm just saying, do what you can do, practice what you can practice, put things in place so that you're not the business owner. Because I'll tell you right now, that dude's a clown. I call him a clown. I use that word for individuals that act clownish. And his response to that driver that didn't speak English was a clown. I'll say this, be frustrated. This guy, oh my God, the 20th guy, they don't speak any English. What the fuck? You're making my job harder. Do you want to just bitch about it, or do you want to have a solution? You can put signage up. You know how easy it is to put a sign up? You know how easy that is? How helpful that would be? Think about that. Have you traveled out of this country? I have. You don't speak the language. You see a sign that is your language. How warm that is. How inviting. How settles you down a little bit. Like, oh, okay. Now this place really cares about their business. They realize that there's other people that might not know a lot of English, but they want to still make money. They want the coffee delivered to their customers. I'm helping them with that. That sign's very helpful. Thank you. That's all he had to do. And you know what? Maybe he did it, and the guy was ignored it, and that's why he was mad. Hey, I'll give him that. I'll give him that rope. But we can't call ourselves the greatest country in the world, which we are. We can't call ourselves land of the free, home of the brave. Give me you're tired, you're weak, you're hungry. We can't have the Statue of Liberty. We can't have our flags up, all proud like, and then act like clowns. We can't have both. Pick a side. Read a history book. Think about your great-great-grandfather, your great-great-grandmother. My grandmother's in Chicago. She speaks maybe 10 words of English. She gets by. She's a lovely woman. She raised 3 kids. My mother, my aunt, my uncle. They're upstanding people in their communities. They go to church. They do this. My aunt wrote a book. My aunt was on Oprah Winfrey. They speak Spanish. They learned English. Did my grandmother need to go back to the country where she was from because she doesn't speak English? Do you know how ignorant that is? So I just want us to take the temperature down. Think about your fellow human being, regardless of where they're from, what race. Measure them on their character, their movements, how they're doing, what they're doing, how they treat people. We need a little bit more of that. And less pointing the finger at that group and putting all these people in one lump sum. Gig Hustler says, speak English, period. Hey, listen, if you're a gig worker, you should learn some keywords for sure. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But should it be a requirement? In order to turn on, let me ask you guys real quick. You guys put it in the chat before we go. In order to be a gig worker in America, when you sign up for the apps, should you have to take some kind of English speaking test? Should you have to get on a Zoom call with somebody at DoorDash headquarters and be asked some questions, basic ones, role play? Could that be a solution to the problem? What do you think? Should we do that? Is that against some kind of human decency rights? I have no idea. You should get citizenship. Juan says, nope. I like role play, since Francisco. This is no national language of the U.S. There is no. Speak Spanish, period, says Belcito. I just think a lot of us are, listen, let me tell you something. That guy that was picking up that order and millions of other ones that are on these apps, whether we hate them, we like them, we love them, we understand them, they're doing the work for the same reasons you and I are. Even if they have a fraudulent account, which I don't agree with, they're trying to provide the same way. Same way. Are there a few that are doing it and they got some other outlying crazy reasons why they're doing it and it's real scammy? Yeah, sure. But you know what? There are white collar Americans running billion-dollar corporations doing way worse, and you buy their products every day. Do you wear Nike? What kind of phone are you watching this on? You got an Apple phone? So I think it's very ironic. We tend to look at the down and trodden. We tend to look at people that come from a certain place of the world or look a certain way or don't speak this. But the people that look like you and I, that speak the language that we speak, sometimes those are the bigger crooks. But I don't think some of you guys are ready for that conversation. And you know what? Quite frankly, this ain't the place for it. I might not be ready for it either. But there's a lot of truth there. Pedro, how many immigrants live with you? 20. I'm housing them. I have all their DoorDash accounts, and they give me $100 a week. They all live in a little closet right over there. They live right in that little room. I got a room right there. It's like a closet that we just keep stuff in, and they live in there. Oh, Juan. Yeah, yeah. I wish we were speaking German. Johnny is, I know exactly what kind of person Johnny is, but I know Johnny's smiling right now since I just said his name. How to do what's best for you. Nice. Man practices what he preaches. Room for everyone. Did I say there was room for everybody? I don't think I said that. See, that's another issue with some people is they hear a few words and then they go to a whole another place. I never said that. Never. Do I think we need open borders? Absolutely not, right? But you guys will go with that rhetoric because it fits a narrative. I don't believe in narratives. I hate the rhetoric. I hate the lump sums. I hate the trigger words, the sizzle words, the hot take words, the this, the that, the assumptions. I don't really like it. It's kind of lame. Pedro Harris, Trump 24. So is oversaturation a thing or not? 2020, is it a thing? I don't really know, because there's no way of knowing how many people are in your marketplace. It's such a fluid thing. It's very hard to say. I think on situationally, are there more drivers than needed? Yes. As a business, I understand why DoorDash and Uber does it as a business. So, yeah. When I was running restaurants, we'd have a busy Friday night at Applebee's or a busy banquet that we were running at a casino. And, you know, there were times I'd have 10 or 12 servers on the floor. And each server had 3 to 4 tables. It'd be a Friday, Saturday night. I'd be like, Pedro, we got too many servers on. You going to cut them? You going to cut them? My thing was, let's see what we get. I'll cut when I need to, because I want my service to be good. I want my service to make money, but I want my service to be good. I want the customers to have a good experience. And if they do that, they should tip my servers. And my hope is at the end of the shift, everybody made a fair amount of money and everybody made good money. But if I listened to my workers and went on a 7 chart and cut 3 people right away, and in 6:30 hits, they're all bitching and complaining. There's too many orders. I can't do this, Pedro. I got 6 tables. I can only handle 3. So oversaturation can be a good thing situationally. But once again, some of y'all ain't ready for that conversation. I appreciate all the panelists that came on tonight. Thought we had a really good conversation. I appreciate all the thumbs up. I appreciate the few super chats we had, even if they're from the trolls. I appreciate any new subscriber that we might have got tonight. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I think that's a fine place to stop. I'm gonna go out and have a great week this week. This past week wasn't great. It was could have been a lot better. But the message I'll leave for you is, don't focus too much on a bad moment, a bad day, a bad shift, a bad whatever. Things tend to turn around. Even if you got car troubles, you got health issues, you got this, you got that, do what you can to protect you and yours. Learn from your mistakes and stop focusing so much on what that next driver is doing or what the next person is doing, and start focusing a little bit more on what you're doing. I'm Mr.BetonYou. I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you guys. And really, I got to end it like I always end it. If you're around somebody that you love, your wife, your kid, your daughter, your husband, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your best friend, your coworker, give them a hug and tell them that you love them. That could change somebody's day. Have a great night.